Welcome to the Booktrovert Babes podcast, where two friends decide to bring our dramatic conversations about books here for your entertainment. I'm Rubik's mom of 5 and a baby reader just entering my book era.
And I'm Taylor, mom of 2 and a well-seasoned book era veteran. Today, we're going to be combining two little topics together. We're going to go over our November wraps for books we've already read, and then we already made our December TBRs, so we're going to chit-chat about some of the books on there as well. So, Rubix, you did an amazing job in November.
Did I, though?
You did. How was your November?
Oh my god. I am so disappointed. Okay, so we literally just released an episode where we're talking about how I killed October.
We did. Last week, in fact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Killed October. I did so good.
Mm-hmm. You did. And you did a great job.
We discussed how it was because I made an actual TBR. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I want to say I don't know what happened. I know exactly what happened.
Yeah,
I tried to make a deal with the devil. That's what I did. Okay.
Hold on. Because okay. So we did not have a Making the November TBR podcast episode. We did it as a Twitch stream over on our Twitch, which is Booktrovert Babes. We had input from the besties. And I was on Struggle Bus Town because I had said I was only going to make a small TBR for November because I am a busy girl. And Rubix tried to be hee hee ha ha and test me of, if you have a bigger TBR than me, then I won't do anything with you. However, if I had a smaller or read less than her, then she would make a deal with me. It is not my fault that you...
That was not a me trying to hee hee ha ha. That was me trying to help incentivize you to take it easy for a month.
The irony, because I still read 16 books in November, but...
I know you did.
But...
You read more than me.
Yeah, but it wasn't on the TBR. You had a bigger TBR than me. That's not my fault.
I did.
So anyway.
It is your fault. You kept telling them to give me more titles.
I did not. Okay.
I have the
Which
VOD.
one of us watched the VOD? Which one of us watched it? Me.
You didn't say, Psycho, give her another one.
Well, that was when you had surpassed 20. Okay. Rewind. For anyone who was not in our Twitch live, we were putting together our TBRs. I originally had 23 written down. No, I had 37 written down, and I was like, I have to split this in half between November and December. You said you need to be more rational, and we got into this whole discussion. There's a VOD, go watch it. But basically, it broke down into Rubix was trying to make me a better person by being honest to what I said, that I needed a smaller November TBR. I did. I only had an 18-book TBR. I read 16 of my 18, so shush. Somehow... Rubix was trying to rein me in and did so successly, but in the process somehow screwed herself.
In the process of trying to be a good friend, I buried too deep of a hole.
We have two friends, Kaylee and our other friend who goes by Psycho on Twitch. My cats are Psycho, to be fair, who are big fantasy people. Psycho is like epitome of fantasy in our collective group. I think you girl bossed too hard to the sun because you finally had someone who understood your love of fantasy.
I did.
And you somehow ended up with a month that only has 30 days.
I know. And I took every single title that she and Kaylee gave me and put it on my TBR. No questions asked. Did not even read the summaries. They just said, read this book. It's real good. And I said, cool. And put it on my TBR. Oh my God. But I did also carry over several, like Finale, Taming 7.
Yes.
There were several other ones that I didn't really need, like, to put on my TBR that I just carried over the backlog.
Yeah, which I don't think we went over this because it wasn't necessarily a word that we said a lot in our vocab episode, but the backlog of your TBR is essentially any of the books that you did not get to the month prior that you're probably still not going to read, but it makes you feel better that it still got written down. So we call it the backlog, but I'm not getting to it, but I inside feel better.
It makes it not a DNF, right?
Yes.
It makes it not a DNF.
Fail reading that book. It's in the backlog.
Yeah. So we're just waiting a tad, right?
So in a month with 30 days, How many books were on your TBR? Mind you, this was a month where Rubik's goes on a family vacation to another state, many, many, many hours away with her entire family. She comes from a big-ass family with tons of nieces and nephews.
Yeah, there were 17 of us in one house.
Yep. How many books were on that TBR?
24.
Plus the one from our bet, so 25. Which you still haven't read. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. Okay.
However,
I can admit it.
I would say if you had made the 12 book TBR that you had originally intended being out your max, you did a good job. You still read more than what your old average of 3 books was.
I also really got behind because of that one book.
What one book? What happened, though?
I can't even remember.
For the record, for everyone, I wasn't going to bring it up. I was not going to do it. I thought you had mentioned it that one time on Twitch.
I have to only because it helps justify why I got so far behind.
Is that the half?
Yes, the family vacation, but yeah, that's the half.
Okay. You know what? I'll give it to you. When you said what your number for the month was, because mine was 16, and you told me what your number was, I was like, oh, okay, she just didn't finish it. It's the book that she'll finish this month. Or it's this following book she's going to talk about now.
Yeah. So what happened was, our friend Tish had messaged me in a DM in October and was like, hey, I just finished this book. I think you'll really, really like it. I was like, cool. It's on the TBR. Done. Say less. And I am way too trusting with my TBR. I really need to start vetting some of these, I think. Or maybe just actually reading my messages. Anyway, I put this book on my TBR. I find it in Goodreads. And I find it I borrowed it from Libby. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, going through this book, she said that I would really like it. So I'm like, okay. And as I'm going through it, I'm like, I do like this book, but it is taking me so long to get through it because it was just a lot of information. It was a lot of stuff.
Has Tish ever asked you to read a book before?
No.
Okay, and that was the other thing. That too. I was like, I know.
That was the other reason. Tish has never asked me to read a book specifically before. And so I was like, I'm going to read this book.
Tish and I are identical with the things that we read. Like, there's not a book behind me that she also hasn't read. Like, we read 4 of the series behind me together. So her and I are pretty much identical with things. Mm-hmm. So the fact that she did find something that she knew I wasn't going to like, but you would, I can see why you were like, to the TBR immediately. Let's go.
Absolutely. And I couldn't fit it in October. It was already towards the end of the month when she sent it to me. But I was like, first thing in November, I'm going to read this book. And first thing in November, I started reading this book, which
I hope everyone can hear the way she said this book versus this book.
I don't know where it got lost in translation, but the book that I started reading was in no way, shape, or form the book that Tish told me to read.
What was the title of the book Tish wanted you to read?
I don't know anymore.
Oh, great.
What is real life?
Are there similarities to the two titles? Like
it's something about the woods.
God of the Woods?
That's the one I was reading.
Oh, wait, that's a really popular book. It's nominated for a Good Choice Read. Goodreads Choice Award.
I'm saying it was really good, but it was taking me. Do you know how long that book is?
It's a thick boy. That's part of why it's on the Goodreads Choice Awards right now, and multiple
author
or creators for Goodreads have it on their like must-read list for 2024.
And this book also, you know how we read like, the duet POVs and stuff where it switches back and forth. Okay, but this one has like way more than 2 people that you have a POV.
Oh.
And a timeline attached to it. So every chapter has a name and the year.
Oh, okay.
So it jumped around, and it's interesting. Don't get me wrong, but it was
anyone who knows Tish and Kaylee, honestly, they're both this way. They don't love time jumps, and they don't love things where they have to pay attention to that kind of thing.
Nope.
So knowing that, I was gonna say, how many chapters did you get before you were like, "There's no way Tish would have read this"? If it's doing that many time jumps, That's like her and Kaylee's biggest pet peeve.
Oh, okay. The book she asked me to read was What Lies in the Woods.
Okay, so woods and woods.
Woods and woods.
You saw woods and you said sold.
And so I text her about it later saying, I'm putting it on hold. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see that conversation between the two of you where you're trying to say things about the book and Tish is genuinely confused. And I know...
I mean, I have it right here now. Listen.
Yeah, that Tish was probably like, did I forget the book? Like, she probably, you like almost gaslit her into thinking she was the one who was confused.
So I get halfway through the month, okay? And then I said, so I like The God of the Woods, but it is so difficult for me to follow for some reason. So I'm pausing on it. And she's like, which book? I'm like, God of the Woods, the one you wrecked me. And me and my overconfident ass, I put you in all caps. And I'm like, no. And she goes,
no.
Are you sure I did? The only book coming up on Google does not look familiar. Did you mean What Lies in the Woods? And I was just like, cue the sound. It was at this moment. She knew. She fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So bad. Because I was halfway behind. I mean, I was more than halfway. I was halfway through the month, had barely done anything on this damn TBR that I made.
I was going to say, you read like our buddy read. You flew through a buddy read. And then I don't think momentum. I heard updates from you for a while.
I had good momentum. This book was really good, but it was very intricate. Like the details are very intricate, and so it just killed my momentum.
Book, but it is one of those
killed my momentum though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you need time to invest into it, so it killed my momentum. All that to say, did not finish my TBR, and I felt so defeated.
You really were you set yourself up because you set. I don't even make 25 book TBRs. So, like, you had already set your 30 days, 25 books.
I swear you have, though.
No, I know myself. I max myself out at 23, which is still, I average 16 to 19 books. I am aware that I'm never going to hit 23, but like 23 is kind of where I try to max myself out. So you had already set yourself up with a crazy high number of TBR. And then, yeah, you slumped yourself out by reading the wrong book. That wasn't at all what you thought it was going to be. But then by the time you soft DNF that book, weren't you leaving like 3 days later for Louisiana with your family?
Mm-hmm.
And then you were gone for like 6 days. And then it was Thanksgiving. And then like Thanksgiving, Black Friday, end of the month. So like, it was not the month.
It was not
girl boss
for this TBR.
It was not the month to do it.
Note to self, and everybody else can keep me accountable.
And your children's birthdays is November, so
yeah, and we still haven't. I mean, we did celebrate, but not like we still haven't because we've had things going on every weekend. We still haven't had her birthday party yet. Mm-hmm. Like, it's now a month later.
Just girl boss so hard.
I don't know what happened to my November, but it's gone now, and all these books are still here, so crap.
It's okay. They go to the backlog. Although your backlog will be a little more serious than like a normal backlog.
Jeez, I know, because all of these books, not all of them, most of these books, at least 65% of them maybe, are all brand new to me. Mm-hmm. They weren't already on any list I had. So I'm like...
Yeah, because a lot of them were Psycho in chat saying, what about this? What about this? Or you saying... Oh, because this came up, this is showing up as a related title. Have you read that? And Psycho was like, absolutely, go for it. And you're like, say less.
Say less.
Literally, say less.
I'm too trusting with my TBR.
To be fair, the things that you did read last month,
phenomenal,
that Psycho had said were great. Yeah, no, she didn't lie. They were fantastic. They were good books. How many books did you read? I don't think you said your exact number yet.
9.5. I am counting.
You're counting the halves, absolutely,
as half.
For the 9 that you finished, you liked, I think, every single book you read last month. I don't think you told me that you gave anything a bad review or that you didn't like.
I mean, I didn't give anything a bad review. Like, nothing got below 3 stars, which is what I would call bad. Everything was 3 and above, and they were all very interesting. Lots of Hunger Game-esque plots.
Yeah, you went hard into like the somewhat connected to Hunger Games trope. I'm calling it a trope for today.
Yeah. I think that it's because of everybody had just seen me finish Serpent in the Wings of the Night.
That did happen. It was great.
And
just so you guys know, if you ever get bored on a random night and we're doing a stream called Read with Rubik's, if you want to be entertained, because there's no one I've ever seen who reads with their face more than Rubik's, you should definitely come over and watch her. You don't even know what she's reading. Just know her face will tell you all. And it's fantastic.
It's true. We like to say that even though I mute my microphone, my face is the subtitles. You can still tell everything.
Because most of us in chat have read Serpent in the Wings of Night, and you told us what chapter you were on. We didn't even need to be following along in our own books. We could just tell where you were in chapters based on your face. Mm-hmm. It was great. It was quite the bonding moment for us.
Yeah. A little exposing, though, I gotta say.
It was so fun, though.
At one point, I was definitely hiding underneath a blanket, peeking over like I was the girl in the TV horror film watching a horror film. Oh my God.
Yeah, you were definitely like I can't look, but I can't look away, girl. Hiding behind your fuzzy blanket. We were all like, we know what you're reading. You can't hide from us.
Exactly. So good. It was great. But yeah, no, the books I did read were really good. I really liked them. A lot of them are beginnings of series, which means my to complete list just got a whole lot longer as well.
We kind of talked about that, just like us talking. I think that's part of the reason that I'm not the biggest fantasy girl, because standalone fantasies,
they're always series.
Yeah, the standalone fantasies don't really exist.
Yeah,
it is all like a duology. Sign me up. Anything past that, I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm so sorry.
Work. Yeah.
If it's completed, I'm in, because I'm already waiting with the Empyrean series. I like am at a 1 series max for like fantasy I'm going to wait for.
Well, let's talk about your November.
I had a good November. I hit 16, which is around my average. I would say like 16 to 19 is like my sweet spot for monthly reads. However, I don't know if you noticed, because I don't think you stalk me the way I stalk you.
Absolutely not.
I did not.
I don't know how you have the time to stalk everybody that you stalk like you do.
Listen, I'm on Goodreads a lot, okay? Don't
judge me. Hair flip.
I don't know if you noticed, but I did not actually start my first book of the month in November until the 6th. And I had finished a book on the 2nd from something I had been reading in October.
You broke your streak.
I did. So I had read Promise Me Not. Horrible book. I'm so devastated still to this day. I finished that on the 2nd. I went to start another book that I had kind of been dwindling with in October that I did end up finishing in November. But I had just kind of been reading that because I was in such a slump. And then the election happened. And I lost a couple of days shy of 500-day reading streak on November 6th. I've wept about it to the point that I'm like, this is in the grand scheme of things, losing that streak is not the end of my life. But like low key, I was so depressed that I lost that on top of like just, November 6th depression. It was a day.
We had a little mini slump.
Yeah. So I gave myself 24 hours to be really fucking depressed about my Kindle streaks. Luckily, it still counts my weeks, so I am still weekly going. My days have reset, unfortunately. But then November 7th, I picked up the last book that's currently out. There is one more book coming from the series, the Windy City series by Liz Tom Ford. I picked up Play Along. It was really cute. It was really good. And then I finished the Briar U series, which is the hockey accompanying series to Off Campus, because I really wanted to read Campus Diaries, which is the children of the players from Off Campus and Briar U. So I really just wanted to finish it out so I could start that finally.
That's interesting.
It's so good. And I know you're in your hockey era, so I would highly recommend that you just keep going with your little hockey era that you've been
I would not say I'm in my hockey era. I would not go anywhere near that.
I don't know. I think secretly you're in love. And then I read my 2 buddy reads / book club reads, because again, I don't know if TBR titties, if we're a book club, if we're buddy reads, or we're just 5 hee hee ha ha besties. reading the weirdest shit. So
all
I
of the
read
above.
Hideaway. I was not technically last to finish because one of the besties didn't finish it at all for very valid reasons. And it was okay. Like I had reorganized my order for the guys, which we all went into great debate about. However, when we later talk about December TBRs, I have thoughts. I'm so excited. So I read that, and then I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I went in blind. I had no idea what this book was about. I had texted you as soon as I was done, and I asked you to add it to your TBR because I was like, I don't even know how to feel about what I just finished reading. Like, I genuinely am spiraling because it was one of those books that it makes you think of your life after. Like, am I living life to my best potential? Am I living, like, it was so good that I low-key slump. I had a hangover, we'll call it. Because I didn't slump. I did read again the next day, but I had a hangover. So I think I read the last Briar U because I had 2 Briar U books that I had to finish. And I think I had like used them in between. And then I read 2 Twisted Crowns, which was the finale to the duology for the Shepherd King. And I buddy read that with Kaylee while she was live on Twitch. And it was so good. Another 5-star. I had a couple of 5 stars in November, which was really nice. And then I read a book that was extremely disappointing. I'm not going to talk about it. It was called Shots on Net. And I was very upset by it. And we're just going to walk over that. And then I did finally get to the first book of the Campus Diaries, The Graham Effect. I read a pregnancy trope book, which we all know is crazy for me. But I do think you will like it because it is very out on a limb vibe. Like, it was very cutesy. The twist, however, is the guy that she's with is not the father of her baby. So I was like, that's an interesting concept. It's like her childhood best friend, which I know you love, the whole childhood friends to lovers, but like, it's not his baby with a twist. It was really cute.
Oh my God.
And then I guess I can't leave you alone in November fuck-ups. I may as well admit my fuck-up. So, as I have shared, I am reading the Black Witch Chronicles for Rubik's because I know it is her favorite of all time, and it feels only fair that even though I told her not to read The Boys of Tommen, and you haven't finished it, by the way, I felt it was only fair that I give her favorite series a shot. So I read Wandfasted, which is the prequel to the entire series, and I finished the book, and I hadn't texted Rubik's anything, and at the very end, I texted her, I was like, hey, I finished the book, and immediately I get shot back with, what the fuck do you mean you finished the book? You didn't send me a single text. Like, what? And I was like, I mean, it was fine. I don't know why it was like imperative to the story because like you just read about a bunch of people that are like dead. Immediately I get a text. Do you know who you just read about? And I was like, yeah, the OG Black Witch from 200 years ago. Immediately I get back.
No. You you were like, it's so-and-so's great, whatever parents. I was like, no, bestie. Those are her parents.
So she says that to me. I should have screenshotted more of like that conversation.
Oh, I have it.
I sent the beloved ... And then I want to say the next 20 text messages that you got are in all caps.
Oh, it was
everything
flood.
Clicking into place of, oh my God, these are her parents. Oh my God, wait, if these are her parents and this is blah, blah, blah's parents. And oh my God, if that's like the spiral I went down. Because at first I thought it was one of those cliche reincarnation of the family members 200 years later and the names are repeating. And she tells me what it is. And I'm like, wait a minute. That baby is a teenager now in the freaking original timeline that I'm reading from Black Witch. I spiraled so hard that I reread the book so that I could get a new appreciation, knowing that I'm just reading the parents. And the rating changed. Shockingly, the rating changed. And I was shockingly to the book.
I knew it would because I'm like, no.
Which, for the record, I changed my rating and got another text from Rubik's. What do you mean it's only a 3.75? And I respond with a screenshot of your Goodreads where you gave it a 3.25. And I was like, I liked it more than you. Sit down.
Okay, yes, but I thought you would like it more because of the romance.
The romance was cutesy, but there's still... I know you haven't read a ton of Omega Fix, just that one, but it kind of gave Omega vibes in the sense of like they almost don't fully have a choice. Like it's very Without being too spoilery, it feels like there's not a lot of choice for them so much as like their affinity lines tell them so kind of thing.
Right.
And it happened really fast. So that was my only thing is it not that it was insta love.
But that's kind of like not insta love, but I mean there was like the forced proximity of it.
Yeah, but when you look at timeline wise, they like fell in love in like a week. And that I was like, it's cute. It was cute. I'm not taking away from that. And it makes a lot of sense why their children, who I'm reading about now, their belief system is the way it is. And I did appreciate it for what it is. It wasn't mind blowing. It was cute. I will say I liked the next one, which is Light Mage, which is what goes in. It's still kind of before, but kind of it's a weird. That one's timeline is weird.
It overlaps. I will say I liked that one. The beginning of the Black Witch.
Yeah, I will say I liked that one more because I like Sage's story and I like how her involvement in the overarching timeline, and I got a little more back info on that, so that I did appreciate. So I read those. I read my next Yeehaw book. That was disappointing as fuck, and I'm not going to talk about it. I did finish that book from October called Wicked Things. Again, not talking about it because I read some crazy shit. And then I ended the month in the most obscene, wild way. So,
oh no.
My family will get this when they listen to this. I am the kind of person, I don't cry a lot. I'm not a crier. Like, if I'm heavy in emotions, I'll cry for certain things. I don't cry a lot, though. So when I was younger, I used to watch The Notebook to do that big, like, I can't breathe kind of crying, to the point that, like, my family would get concerned because I wasn't a crier. So it almost felt like everything was getting held up. And then I would put on a sad movie and then I would just bawl for 3 hours.
Yeah, you uncorked it.
Yep. So Mel and I have been talking about reading this book since the beginning of the year. Then some personal stuff in my life happened throughout the entire year, and it just kept getting pushed back. I wasn't ready to read it in my own personal life, and it just kept getting pushed back and back and back. And then I went to go see her, and I was like, I'm still not ready to read this book. Even more stuff happened in my personal life. Keep pushing it back. So stuff is happening in hers, stuff is happening in mine. You're like, you know what? We just need to cry. We're going to read 1,000 Boy Kisses. When I tell you, I have not sobbed for a book since maybe If He Had Been With Me, which I know you know that I sobbed for it, but Marley also knows how badly I sobbed for that duology as well.
Goodness.
I don't know if I could see anything afterwards. I cried so hard. I got hiccups. My eye was swollen. I honestly thought I had somehow gotten an infection in my right eye because it was swollen shut. The next day, I sobbed. And it's like, you know, it's sad. You know, something awful is going to happen. You like think of The Fault in Our Stars and A Walk to Remember, put them together, and that is that book with like some other things added to it. So it's like, you know it's going to hurt your feelings. We went into it because we wanted to cry. We wanted to get our feelings hurt.
And you succeeded.
And I finished it first, and then somehow I was to blame. Mel was screaming at me because she was sobbing and I didn't properly prepare her. And I was like, I couldn't see. There was snot going down my face and I was hiccuping. I was crying so hard. I warned you, Melanie. So I finished the month off sobbing. Happy Thanksgiving. I couldn't see for like 2 days after how badly I cried.
And then you went to see Wicked.
And then I went to see Wicked and I kept crying. I had told my mother, I was like, I'm going to read a book that's going to make me cry. So hopefully when we go see Wicked, I don't embarrass you by crying more. We both cried. No, please. We both cried. My mother and I, by the end of that, sobbing. It was, phenomenal. Please go see Wicked. But yeah, so I ended November sobbing. It was a great time. Another 5-star.
I would hope so.
Oh,
can you imagine if a book made you feel like that and you rated it something obscene like 3.5?
Yeah, right. That's the thing. I was trying to explain to Mel because I've been telling her we're going to scooch into December TBRs. So obviously we're a little bit into December, so we both have started our December TBRs. I am still reading The Black Witch. We were in a voice chat together. And Rubik's was doing her thing. We were just like hanging out. We weren't doing anything productive necessarily. Like we were, but we weren't. Like,
I was being very you were being productive. Thank you.
Okay, I was also being productive. I'm reading your book.
I'm just saying.
There's one moment where we're both being quiet. Rubik's is making these beautiful creations for us, for our channel. And out of nowhere, I start yelling. I put the Kindle down and I start swearing. Not at Rubik's necessarily, but like in general, because I'm
Oh no, you were
fuming.
definitely swearing at me.
It was more so I was swearing at the book and swearing at you for giving me the book. Because
Yeah, that counts,
I was
bestie.
it wasn't, but I'm trying to say it wasn't like I was mad at you, but you were there.
Yeah.
So you were feeling my wrath because the book made me so
I was
mad.
there and I was the reason, so you know.
But so I'm also was complaining to Mel on the side. Wait. And she's like, why are you reading it if you hate it? I was like, no. Don't get it twisted. I don't hate the book. I'm fucking angry at the book. And it's really good because if a book can get like a heightened emotion out of me, it is a good book. I'm just fucking angry at it right now. Okay. I don't want to talk about it. Like I do.
Now
but I
you
don't.
understand. This is part of the reason why I love the series because it evokes emotion.
Okay, but
Like,
to be
and
fair,
that's
I
where
am
I
still
go.
mad at you.
I know.
Miss, it's escapism. No, the F it's not. So,
No, hold
but yeah.
on. I didn't say that book series is escapism.
you said
Escape-
fantasy is for escape. There's no
That's
escape
what
in
I
this
read
book.
it for.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm not saying that this book is a good escape.
Not at all.
Also, I read it earlier in the year, so you know.
How cute. You finished it in the beginning of the year. I'm finishing it at the end of the year. And then we're going to read the last book together in January.
I know.
We're so cute.
We're adorable.
For December, I'm going to finish out the Black Witch to everything that's out because the last book of the last book. Okay.
I
If
think
it's
so,
not,
yes.
we're fighting. The last book of the series is coming out in January, so we can buddy read it then. So
I don't think you're allowed to fight me about that.
if this book series isn't done, I swear to God, I will
I'm just
fight
saying,
with you anyway.
I think that it is. I think I actually saw somewhere where it said this was going to be the last book of the series. However, even if it's not, I don't feel like you're allowed to fight with me on it because you're the one who had me read ACOTAR.
I told you it wasn't over. So you went into it knowing it wasn't over.
Didn't I tell you it wasn't over? I told you there was a book coming out later.
Nope, I didn't know it wasn't over until last month when we were discussing the Black
I
Witch.
said that it wasn't over when I finished reading it.
In January?
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's December. It's been 12 months.
Listen,
Also, the fact that you finished all of those books and the last one still wasn't coming out for another year is obscene. But anyway,
I know. And I still remember quite a bit, but it's a lot to remember.
A lot.
a
I feel like you're almost getting a reread through me because of how often I text you about the series and where I'm at.
I am, and
So,
it's helpful.
Yeah.
But I might actually read through them again at some point.
You're running out of time.
Well, I'm not saying necessarily before the next one comes
Oh, okay.
out, but just to read them. But yeah, no, you gave me ACOTAR, and that series is not done. Not only that, but then, like, there's no way to just read ACOTAR. Like, you want to go into Throne of Glass and Crescent City. Like, you opened the
Do you want to go into it?
You gave me the gateway drug to adult fantasy.
Possibly. It's fine. So anyway, December TBRs.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, because the rest of us had made them and submitted them, and we were like, where's Rubik's? Rubik's, we need your TBR.
Rubik's is still mourning November TBR.
Also, Rubik's was debating on what to do for her TBR and was like, I have to carry over all my November books. And we're like, well, no, it's like the holidays. Like, you want to read something Hallmarky, like you're the queen of Hallmark.
Yes.
So
I am so excited about mine.
I know. Do you want to go over yours? Because
yeah.
I have one, but I don't at the same time kind of vibe this month.
I have so many good ones on my TBR. Well, they seem good. Let me tell you, for those that haven't caught on to it yet, I don't pay attention to the summaries. I go in blind on pretty much every single book. Like, the only books I don't go in blind is because somebody else has told me it's like Hunger Games and Game of Thrones had a baby or whatever, something like that. And I'm like, I loved all of those stories. Sign me up. That's all I need. Okay. These books are pretty much just the title. I'm like,
I could tell. When I saw you send the TBR and I looked, I was like, she went off title alone. You went full Hallmark and you're like, the crazier the title, it's on TBR.
here are some of the books that I am reading this month and the titles. Okay, we're doing the buddy read for Kill Switch, which I'm almost done with that one. I did. Yeah, you're done. I'm almost done.
I flew through it.
I'm flying through it too. I started it this morning, late last night, and I did finish Icebreaker already. I finally read Icebreaker.
You guys, she gave it a 4.5.
I did. It was really cute, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I went in thinking it was going to be like full Hallmark. Like I went in thinking a mix of like Hallmark versus like She's All That. Or Drive Me Crazy, like one of the, the teen movies that we grew up with. That's what I was expecting. No,
the way Mel and I didn't believe you when we thought someone had stolen your phone when you said 4.5 stars.
I know.
We're like, who the fuck is this? Right. Who took Rubik's phone? We were ready. We were mentally prepared for you to hate it. So when you said 4.5 stars, I was like, 4.5. Like that's higher than some of the Black Witch books. That's higher than some of the Boys of Tillman. But like we're like, she loves it. She's a hockey girly now.
I still would not say I am a hockey girly.
Listen, you gave the hockey romance book a 4.5 stars. You're a hockey girly whether you like it or not.
I don't plan on reading several other hockey books, Anyway, here are the titles for the rest of my reads this month. Okay. I do have 2 thrillers. Ones that I know are thrillers. Okay. One is called The Christmas Killer. By Alex Pine, and the other is called Christmas Presents. And the cover looks very similar to Hidden Pictures.
Oh, that's fun.
So I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be creepy. Okay.
Anytime there's a house on a thriller book, I immediately am like, it's scary and thriller. So have fun.
Probably, yeah. Okay, so the rest of these titles.
Go ahead.
Now, and there's a bunch at the end that are the best titles, hands down, and I want to read them so bad. They are all very short, like 4 to 6 hours max, and on audiobook, and they are optional, okay? Because I'm trying to be more reasonable with my TBR this month, okay? So
you just learned that you can't girl boss too hard with the TBR. You have to be reasonable.
Yes. So those are optional, okay? The ones I have that are not optional: Faking Christmas, Trick Shot, which I think you have on your list. I'm reading. Too.
I don't know if it's MFM or MMF, but it is a menage a trois of 3 people.
I mean, I got that from the cover.
I would hope so.
Kind of hard to miss.
Yeah.
Another book is 25 Reasons to Hate Christmas and Cowboys.
I heard Cowboys. Sold for you. Yeah.
I'm sold for that title. The Shite Before Christmas, Wreck the Halls, Single All the Way, Christmas Baggage, Sprinkles and Sea Serpents, Grimoires and Gingerbread, which those 2 are part of a series called the Sugar Shack Witch Mysteries, I think.
I love that you still found a way to sneak in some fantasy in there.
And I wasn't going to add those, but then I saw them and was like, Christmas and fantasy winning. Like,
she's so happy.
I'm so happy about it. And it's cool because it's a series. And like the first one is not necessarily Christmas, but it sprinkles like cookie baking. Cool. The other books are surrounding like other holidays. Like there's a St. Patty's Day one. There's one that it doesn't say that it's Valentine's, but it looks kind of Valentine's. There's another one that's, Halloween and stuff like that. So, and another one is New Year's. So it seems like it'll be a fun little fantasy read around the holidays. So the optional titles are hands down the best titles I've read for any Christmas book. Okay. We have The Boss Who Stole Christmas, The One Night Stand Before Christmas, Elves with Benefits, One Night with a Nutcracker, The Bachelor on the Shelf, and
that's my favorite one.
This is my favorite title, If You Give a Jerk a Gingerbread.
I love the play on with like well-known things, but make it Christmas and make it kind of smutty sounding.
Yes, exactly.
That's so fun.
What is it? The original is what? If you give a mouse
a cookie. Yeah. I literally have that book sitting on my kid's bookshelf.
But make it Christmas and make it smutty.
Yeah. Yep.
I am very excited to read my books. I'm most excited about the Christmas fantasy and the optional titles if I get to them. But I'm also really excited 25 Reasons to Hate Christmas and Cowboys, not knowing anything about it.
That one sounds the most
great.
Hallmarky to me.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. That one of all of them gives the most like Hallmarky vibes. Like, I can't wait for you to read it because I want feedback.
The other ones, it's more the covers that give me the Hallmarky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
when you sent me those back ones,
trendy-
I was cracking up at their covers.
If you go check our Instagram, my post with the TBR, like, you'll see all the covers slide by and you'll see what I mean. Like, they all look very Hallmark.
Yeah.
So, but I think, I don't know, I feel like there's like almost a new era of Hallmark movies, like Christmas Hallmark movies, like the ones that are specifically on Netflix.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Like holiday
popping out some holiday movies lately.
Yeah, but I mean, they're Hallmark, but they're funnier, like Holiday and I guess The Proposal would kind of count as one. It's older, but like that type of Hallmarky kind of movie. Yeah. It's like a little bit funnier and a little bit more embracing the fact that this is a cheesy plot and we know that going in. That's what these books all kind of scream to me. So I'm excited to read them with my very fuzzy blanket and I like to mix hot cocoa and coffee for Christmas and put like candy canes in it and stuff. So I'm very excited to cozy up and read these. It'll be fun once I get through Kill Switch.
Yes. The not at all festive.
The not at all festive and not at all cozy.
Funny? So I was looking at, because obviously we're going to do, this is like a fast forward to our January TBR, but the last two books of the series we were going to do in January of Nightfall, which is Will's book, and then Firelight. Did you know Firelight is the Christmas novella to the series? It's a Christmas novella. It's like I think it's like
earlier.
That's what I was like, dang it, we're going to read a Christmas novella in January. Because we can't read it out of order because it's going to spoil all of Will's book. But when I looked to see, I was like, dang it. That's why when I had written down my TBR that I sent you guys, I wrote Kill Switch and Firelight. Because I think in my head, it's the last one of the series. I think it's just like a flash forward of like how they're all doing.
Oh, I just can't do it, man. Listen.
I mean, I'll read it first and tell you if it's overly Christmas.
We've talked about,
it's like, I think it's just the Christmas time.
Because we talked about this a little bit in our spooky reads episode. Okay.
Yeah.
I am very specific about seasons. And the day after Christmas is over.
Yes.
I am done. I am done with Christmas when Christmas is over. Don't get me wrong, I go ham all through December. But I am done on the 26th. And even Thanksgiving, like I was all about Thanksgiving. I had all my pumpkin stuff and I ordered some groceries right before like Thanksgiving, like when we got back from vacation. It was right before Thanksgiving Day and I ordered a few groceries and I got a pumpkin pie and a pecan pie. And my husband was like, can you get the apple pie? And I was like, yeah, after the weekend. And he was like, I'm sorry, what? And I was like, you can have the apple pie for the weekend. Because for me, pumpkin and pecan pie are fall. Apple is winter.
That's
so I was
weird.
Like, I know, because apples in the fall is totally a thing.
Yeah.
But my brain says pumpkin, sweet potato, pecan pie, those are the Thanksgiving dinner pies. Apple pie is Christmas.
We didn't make a single one of those pies that you just said. So
a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving?
No one likes pumpkin pie but my stepmom and my oldest child. Everyone else, I don't like pumpkin.
I would have eaten the whole pie by myself. If
yeah,
my kids didn't want some.
We don't make pie like that. We have banana cream and chocolate cream.
Oh no, I don't.
We don't do pecan pie in the north. Kind of hate pecans. So, and then no, we all hate sweet potatoes. We don't do sweet potato pie either.
Why did you say it like that?
That's why I was laughing at you. I don't know if you noticed that I was like you and your pecan. We say pecan. Pecan. Love you. So your December TBR is very fun, holly jolly, minus like a couple of random throw-ins, but like some of those aren't your fault because it's a buddy read that we
they're definitely the buddy. I didn't even originally have them on there, and you guys were like, "Excuse me, where's Kill Switch?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Well, the funny thing is, by the time that we noticed your TBR, Tish was done. I was done. Kaylee was half like a little bit in, and we're like, "When are you starting Kill Switch?" not this month. It's Holly Jolly. No. When we agreed,
I tried to get out of
month
it.
to month. Oh, you definitely tried to get out of it. But I was like, it's Damon's book. You can't get out of it. You have to read it.
I will admit I was also a little bit nervous to start Damon's book because I was so hell-bent on he just needs therapy. He's a good guy. And I was afraid that y'all were going to read it, that we were all going to read it. And you were going to be like, Rubik's, you were so off base. Like, I just didn't want to go through that again.
Wait, is that why before you admitted that you would put Kill Switch, you were like, what's your guy order? And when I told it to you, then when I said who was first, you were like, okay, I'll read it.
Uh-huh.
So if I had said anything else, would you have not read it with us?
I mean, there's a real good chance. Probably.
Wait, I kind of love that.
There's a... I would have
Just so
said,
you know,
I'll do
once
it
again,
in January.
Tish and I are identical on our orders for the guys, and I'm pretty sure Kaylee's going to be the opposite again. It's fine.
I wonder which one. I wonder which side I'll be on. Maybe I'll have a new order that's all my own.
I don't think so. I think your order's going to be the same as me and Tish.
So now, as of now, who is your favorite?
In the series? Damon.
Okay. I just needed that recorded.
Because I said that to you yesterday when you're like, well, who's your or where's Damon? And
yeah, I know, but I needed it recorded because I
Damon.
have it recorded when you were yelling at me about him not being last. And
based on the first book, yeah. But now that we have more back info,
based on the second book too. No, but the VOD I have is very like Damon just needs therapy.
He's a good boy.
He just needed therapy. Okay, anyway, tell me about your reads.
Did you look at mine?
I mean, I looked at the cover. I looked at the covers
when you were making our thing. Yeah, but did you look at the paper when I took a picture of my notebook and I sent it? Did you look at it?
Yeah, it was all over the place. That's why I was like, hi, I'm going to need you to send me a list so that I can make your TBR. I need you to send me the list with the authors.
Yes.
And just send me the ones you want on there. Because, girl, you had like columns.
I did. I was so organized. I hope everyone in that freaking group chat realized how organized and how nice I am to all of you. So remember, going back to October, I said November and December are going to be lower months for me. November, I had 30, I don't remember what it was, 34, 35, something like that, to split between the 2 months. I have since decided I'm not going to be a chicken, and I did change my Goodreads goal to 175. So I need to read, as of today when we're recording, I need to read 16 books to hit 175. Mind you, I've already read like 3 this month. So
that's great.
I put down...
Killing it. That's 1 a day.
Relax. I put down 37 books are on this. However, I did write 37 options, 16 minimum, so that I can hit it. And then I organized it. I did my book club reads in the top. Underneath, I wrote with Tish or for Tish, and I wrote all the books that had to do with her. Then it was with Rubik's or for Rubik's, and then all of the Black Witch Chronicle books. And then I wrote Rubik's and Kaylee's book. Then I wrote for Mel, which I had to cross one off because she told me that we are not mentally ready to read the second book after 1,000 Boy Kisses, which I don't know why she would feel that way. So that I only have 1 for hers now. Then I have my with Kaylee or for Kaylee. Then I have my for me section. That's just the books that I wanted to read for myself to finish out some series that I had started. Then I have a for Maddie, because there was 1 book. It's not technically just for Maddie. There was a whole group chat of people who are reading Zodiac Academy that I said I would also join. I have still not joined, and some of them are already on book 4, and I'm very far behind. And then
I'll start it with you because I have the audiobook I'm supposed to get, I think, today of the first one. I'm doing the dramatized.
Fun. I'm debating between whether I should get the dramatized or the regular one. But then, okay, so after that, I have the Christmas reads, which are all novellas, which I think I'm just going to sprinkle in because I have a lot of fantasies this month, so I'm just going to sprinkle in some Christmas novellas. Mm-hmm. And then there was the backlog section. So I had to break it down so I could see realistically what books were left. And then the ones I sent you were the ones that I'm actively going to try and finish this month. And then if I happen to get to the other ones that aren't on the Instagram slide, go me, I read more. But yeah. I have to read at least 16 of these 37 to hit 175. And like a couple, because I'm not going to read all 37 because I know a chunk of these, obviously, I'm not reading 37 books in a 31-day month. 31 days of this month, I'm not reading 37 books. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
So For Broad Club, I'm reading 'Tis the Season for Revenge, which is a book I've owned since last year. I didn't read it last Christmas, and I was like, well, I'm not going to read it randomly. It has to be during Christmas, so I'm reading that. My family's book club, we're doing the Book of Azrael. However, we decided we're not going to meet in December because for my family, it's super busy because we have my grandmother's birthday, my mom's birthday, Christmas, New Year's. It's busy. Mm-hmm. So we're going to meet in January for that. So I technically have like all of December and half of January to read that. Mm-hmm. Our buddy read, which we said was Kill Switch and Conclave. Yours, which is the rest of the Black Witch Chronicles, which is I'm actively going to make sure I finish those 3. I have a ton with Tish. She actually has the most buddy reads coming from me because
I want to read some.
I asked you guys to read one with us and none of you wanted to read it, which shame on all of you. How the Monster Stole Me on Christmas Eve. It was the Grinch novella.
I don't remember that.
You all said no. And for some reason, only Tish said yes. So we're reading a Grinch novella. And then 2 of these books I had to read because I told her I would read them. Technically, one of them she read without me and then told me afterwards, which she's apparently infamous for. And then there's one that's a novella from a series that we've just been reading together that we have to read because it had randomly had a Christmas novella. We're like, we're not going to read that any other time than in Christmas because it's 58 pages. So like, I'm not reading that any other time than the Christmas time. And then I'm supposed to read Powerless for you and Kaylee because technically I was supposed to read that last month. I love you. Okay, but I told you I had a 13-week wait list with my Libby because I don't necessarily want to read that. I kind of want to audio and read it because it's another fantasy.
Yeah, I think I would say you'd be better off audiobooking it.
Well, then you bitches need to let me wait until it's free, but I am going to cave and I'm just going to read it. And then I have a hockey book I need to read from Mel because she's been begging me to read that. And I told her the same thing that like I will get back in my hockey era in the wintertime. So I told her I'd read it this month. And then I'm going to read, it's 4 books. I'm going to read 1 each month of those. Mm-hmm. And then for Kaylee, I have to read the 3rd book from the Crowns of Nyaxia series, the one for the Serpents and the Wings of Night. But then we're going to buddy read Cruel Winter with You. Are you buddy reading that with us too? I know Mel is. Okay. So Cruel Winter with You by Allie Hazelwood.
Oh, I didn't put it on my written TBR, but it's on my TBR.
It's a part of like the Missile something. It's a collection of like 5 novellas from 5 different authors. The first one is Cruel Winter with You, but it's by Allie Hazelwood, who I love because she wrote Bride, and you know how I love Bride. So those. And then for me, I need to finish a couple of series. So Heartless is book 4 from the Chestnut Springs, which is that Yeehaw series that I've been reading. And I'm actually really excited to read this one. And then I need to read Hexed so I can finish out Never After because I keep saying I'm going to do it and I keep putting it on my fucking TBR and I have not read it yet. And I just got the special edition from Barnes & Noble, so now I have zero excuse. I have to read it. Mm-hmm. Dixon Rule, which is the 2nd book from the Campus Diaries of the L. Kennedy book because the last one from that is coming out in February. And then this is one I put down that I don't know how likely I'm going to read it, but in January, I have a book Instagram. I had put down book talk books that I own that I have not read because for some reason they intimidate me. I've done a really good job of reading a good chunk of those from that post. 2 of them I know I'm going to read next year at some point because I'm going to buddy read them, at least one of them with Mel, possibly both of them with Mel. However, Beach Read by Emily Henry, I have owned for so long and I haven't read it and I keep putting it off and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to woman up and I'm going to read it in December. So that's on my TBR.
Such a pretty yellow cover.
It is a pretty cover, and I own it. I've been staring at it for over a year because it was in my post in January. So I'll do it. And then I have all of my Christmas novellas, which also have some fun names. One is called Axes and O's, which I'm excited to read that one. That one's like, it's a lumberjack and his wife.
That looked fun.
Well, that's an MMF, so I'm excited to read it. Trick Shot, we're going to do together. And then Christmas Exchange, Resting Scrooge Face. Love the title of that.
I love
Merrily
the title
Yours,
of that.
The Holiday Clause, A Festive Feud, and Santa's Coming. The silent stare-off we're having right now. The way I can't contain, make eye contact with you. Did you, when you were making it, how much did you hate me when you saw the cover? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 10. Maybe a 9. It wasn't that bad. He was wearing a full Santa suit. He wasn't naked on the cover, okay? I can't say the same about her, but it's fine. He was in a full Santa suit.
Yeah.
I love you.
Wait a minute. I don't think that one was on your list.
Was it not? I thought I put it on there.
You didn't put it in the text message list, so it's not on your TBR post.
Oh no, that's fine. We can keep it off.
I feel like it's probably better that one didn't
probably
show
better
up on there, because we need a record of the fact that you're going to read something titled that.
No, it's fine. We can kick it off. It's fine. It was quite the cover. So, we can keep it off. It's really cool. But yeah, so that's my December TBR. It's a mixture of like just my end of the years. I like really want to read these before the end of the year, mixed in with some ho ho ho.
What are you most excited about out of the
read
Christmas
in December
ones?
Oh, my Christmas ones? Probably X's and O's.
Yeah, that one looked really fun. I was looking for it to see if I could find it so that I could read it too.
I keep seeing it on TikTok because I follow the author because she also wrote Trick Shot, by the way. Mm-hmm. And she is infamous for writing 1, 2, 3s. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to read it because I just like the lumberjack part of it. And also the FMC in it is a plus size girly, and I love that she only writes plus size girls.
I saw that and I loved that.
Yeah, because Trick Shot, when you look at the cover, like she's also plus size. So she only, and I'm not talking like a size 12, I'm talking like a size 20 plus size girly, and I deeply appreciate it. So I'm excited to read her stuff.
Absolute same.
So I think novella wise, those are probably both of those. It's the same author, so I'm going to count it as one. The stuff by Kayla Gross, I'm excited to read.
You have which one was the thriller? Melt with You?
Melt for Us?
Melt for Us. Is that a thriller? It's not. It has a knife on the cover. I thought it was a thriller, and
that knife is not going where you think it's going. That's the one that's 58 pages that Tish and I are buddy reading. That is MMFM. Remember that photo I sent you? The light bulbs, and we were trying to figure out where the light bulbs were going because it was shaded out in a certain area, and there was the Jason and the Freddy and the Scream mask in the photo. That's what that book is. No, Melt for Us is not a thriller. And that knife,
well, at least not that kind.
No, she's getting a thriller. But that knife isn't going where you thought it was going.
I'm so glad that I couldn't find a copy because I was going to put it on my list because I thought it was a thriller. This is where it's bad, okay? That I don't pay attention to what I'm signing up to read.
That's, I think, book 3 of the series anyway, so you would have been confused. Yeah.
That would be the second thing that I took off my list because it's part of a series I haven't read.
It's technically book 2.5 because it's only 58-page novella. That's like a Christmassy novella. Mm-hmm. The first one is Scream for Us.
Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, no, you did that on Halloween.
That's my Halloween novella, and then I think Blood Bath or Bloodshed is the full one. Then Melt for Us came out, and then the next one I think is Blood Bath or Bloodshed is the next full length of that series.
And it's not a thriller?
I mean, people are getting pew-pewed because they touched her, and you can't do that in this book series. So like maybe it's murder. There's a lot of murder. There's a lot of masks. Tish and I love it. Kaylee texted me yesterday after I was telling her about Kill Switch.
About y'all.
You should. So chapter 9 that we were talking about, Kaylee texts me and she's like, so that does it for you? Like, you love it? And I was like, yeah, of course I do. And she's like, you need help. And I was like, listen, Tish and I never said we were healthy, okay?
Yeah.
We are who we are.
Let's just be clear. If we didn't know that we needed help, we wouldn't be doing this podcast. Like,
I'm like, Bessie, I'm already in therapy. I don't know what to tell you.
But that's why we say we're bringing this here for your entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah, Kaylee, you can't say that I'm not entertaining.
We're cuckoo bananas, and we're aware. It's fine.
Like the screenshot I sent in the group chat. I had said the words, I am Delulu. I am not unaware. If anything, I am so self-aware. So you should love me for it. Kaylee, don't judge me.
Absolutely. I support you.
Embrace my Delulu.
I support you. I'll pray for you too, but I support you.
Thank you. What was Delulu is to be Delulu is the Salulu.
My slogan I'm sticking with this year is, what doesn't kill you gives you trauma. Makes life a whole lot harder, but you got that kick-ass dark humor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. We have great humor. We are a hilarious bunch of people.
Yeah.
We're hilarious. I don't know why people don't.
It's how we don't cry on a daily basis, to be honest.
It's why we watch The Notebook once a month so that we can have our
oh no, that one is all you, bestie.
Yeah, I know. You're not.
I'm not a fan. I am not a fan of Notebook. However, I do plan to read it in 2025. It's on my...
When you read it, can you just not tell me? Because I'll be devastated. If it's anything below like 3 stars, just don't tell me, because I'll actually just be sad. I won't even be mad where I mean. I'm just going to be like, okay.
I can't decide what I think is going to happen, because it's going to be a mix probably of, okay, it's either going to be, this is not as bad as I felt about the movie, or it's going to be, why do you guys like this?
Because if you're a bird, I'm a bird.
No.
I wrote you a letter every day for a year.
Oh my God.
I'll quote the whole movie right now.
No, please, God, don't.
It's fine. You just don't appreciate it like me and Mel. It's okay.
Plus, what do you're going to ask me, because you have this hope inside.
Do. Every time. No matter how many times you've burned me.
Every time you're like, Rubik's, don't tell me. Don't tell me how you feel. If you read it, don't tell me. Don't tell me. And then I read it and you're like, so...
Okay, tell me.
So... What did you think? Like,
am I toxic to myself? Because I do every time. And it's like,
you're
prepare myself for the worst. And then when you tell me the worst, I'm devastated.
No, you're like the girlfriend that's like, you never surprise me. Just don't tell me. Just, you never surprise me. And then when it's getting closer to like Christmas or anniversary or whatever, it's like, well, but will I like it? Is it something pretty? Like...
So I'm the needy girlfriend?
Yes.
Oh no. Because I just carry out hope that one of these days you're gonna find my rom-coms and my fluffies and you're gonna like them. Listen,
I don't know why.
You know what you did though?
I don't know why you're thinking that way. I like the Boys of Tommen series a lot. And I loved Archer's voice.
You did love Archer's voice. But you know what you did that just like recently fucked you up?
Oh no.
You loved Icebreaker. So that means now like I'm gonna be like, but why? Why don't you love things? You loved Icebreaker.
So here's the question I have to ask.
Oh no, yes.
How betrayed would you feel if I was just if I said I was gonna try and be nicer about the ratings and I thought about it a little bit extra?
Did you lie to me and Mel?
No, I didn't lie. Like, I am rating it that. I didn't love it.
It was over 4 stars.
I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. But it's not like, I have to read all of these.
Is this going to the podcast?
No. Probably.
Damn it. I was going to say, so on December 11th, when this drops about however long into the podcast, we're going to watch our group chat for when Melanie inevitably goes, Rubik's Club!
Which she asserts is my government name.
She definitely does. Although I like my new trend of what I've been doing when I give you a middle name of whatever my child is watching on TV. That's been a fun time.
It's not that I lied about my rating.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. It surprised me.
Yes.
Which that doesn't happen very often. I gave it
because
credit.
Neither one of us warned you about the legitimate mental health awareness that those books do.
No,
because I wanted you to have an organic experience with that.
Y'all totally set me up for this being cutting edge in a book.
I mean, it kind of was. It still kind of was.
I mean, it is, but you intentionally left out the stuff that was not
the mental health awareness that she makes sure is in all of the books, which I don't know if you noticed that in the text yesterday that I said you may not be the eldest daughter, but the pathological people pleaser that is Hallie in the third, or Hallie that is in the third book, is going to attack you and you're going to cry.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for you to read the third one, because the third one's my favorite. The second one is Mel's favorite. We definitely painted it out like it was a smutty little hockey romance and there was no depth to it, because I needed you to organically
y'all didn't even really paint it as smutty. You painted it as fluffy. I was going in thinking this was a
then when you
Hallmark or Disney Channel original.
In the Uber, I was dying. I was out in public when I got that too, and I was like, I can't even laugh the way I want to laugh because I know what you're reading, and I was dying that I couldn't react how I wanted to.
And you it. You were like, whoops. And Mel doing the same thing. But Mel didn't even wait for me to respond. She's like, huh? Oh, icebreaker? I'm like, the fact that all I had to say was in the Uber and y'all knew exactly.
In the Uber?
Yeah, no, y'all set me up.
Anyone who's read Icebreaker, if you needed like as few words as possible to call a fandom to the front line, in the Uber. Honestly, the Uber. Uber. You got it. You were coming. We know what you're talking about.
That's like the first note of Welcome to the Black Parade for us. Like
any millennial
2000s emo kids.
Yeah. Say Uber, the Icebreaker fandom is coming. Yes? What? What you need? We all understand.
Oh my gosh. No, but y'all definitely did me a little dirty there. Y'all set me up thinking this was going to be, cutting edge.
And it is.
Not the way I remember cutting edge.
There's a hockey player ice skating for a girl because her partner's out.
There was a lot more edges involved here. Okay.
I know. I loved it.
It surprised me. And so I went into it saying, you know what? This time I'm going to be more thoughtful and give the book a little bit more credit because of how much Taylor and Mel love it. And then it did surprise me. I did really like it. I didn't I'm not going to go raving about it or anything.
No,
the only thing I'm going to be raving about is that my friends set me up.
For a good book with great mental health representation.
Absolutely. It did. I will say that. It was really great. I'm just saying, yes, I rated it 4.5. I did not love it more than The Black Witch or anything else. I was just giving it more credit.
That's fine. I'm just glad it actually made it to the December TBR and you read it, so.
I did, and I was very pleased.
In our last episode when we talked about how many times you let the hold go on that book.
I know.
And I finally got justice.
I know. I finally read it. And what was kind of funny too is it was the first book I read for December. And I literally read it because I was like, okay, it's not going to be Christmas, but it's winter, so it's fine. I'm just going to get this one out of the way now since I don't have Christmas decorations up or anything. There was a lot of Christmas in there. And
There's a lot of Christmas in it.
This actually works. This is good. This is setting me up in the mood a little bit. Now I'm reading Kill Switch and it's totally killing the vibe.
Yeah, there's no Christmas in Kill Switch. So sorry. None.
It's
none
definitely
whatsoever.
Killing the vibe. But I'll get back.
Is it a kill switch? Would you say? Yes, she clapped for me. I win.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
I don't care. A clap's a clap. I don't care.
Golf clap. I will even give you a clapping emote on Twitch just for that.
Did it, guys?
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope you enjoyed the vibes. If you want to keep up to date with us and see how our TBRs are going, make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok.
And if you want to watch us live, follow us on Twitch, where you can get in on the action and chat. And we'll be posting the videos to YouTube later so that you can look it up there as well.
Till next time, you are awesome. You're doing great.
We love you. Now stop stalling and go read that book so you can hit your year challenge.
Bye.
Bye.